We all want our team to play attractive football and win, don't we? Of course, that's the ideal scenario. But the win's the most important thing, isn't it?
What I would say, though...
They've got one or two slight issues at this moment in time, Arsenal. So, I mean, 1-0. Think about the performance and the result that they had.
100%. What I would say is that, these are the players that could be missing for Sunday. Odegaard, Saka still hasn't trained, Arteta says. Saliba suspended. Calafiori looked nasty, didn't it? His knee, twisting his knee last night. Timber could be out as well. But I think they've got a big problem with Gabriel Jesus, his form.
Yeah.
Hasn't scored or assisted in 10 appearances this season. When he first signed, Ali, he got 11 goals, 7 assists in his first season, 2022 to 2023, in 33 games. Last season, 36 games, he got 8 goals, 8 assists. Not bad. But this season, 0 goals, 0 assists. When players are injured and not available, they're starting Sterling in front of him. They're starting other players in front of him. Last night, not great again, taken off for Sterling before 70 minutes. So they need to get Gabriel Jesus up to form, especially with little injuries to Odegaard and Saka. He needs to step up.
I just think it's a massive game at the weekend. Oh, it's massive.
Can't lose.
No.
7 points, that could be ahead of Liverpool.
That's a big gap. You can follow how Arsenal go on at home to Liverpool this Sunday afternoon, and that's with Sam and Perry Groves in the Sunday session. And you'll of course be able to get your calls into Majestic and Alan Parr during the final word from 6:30pm. Now, the weekend just gone saw yet more woe for no less than 4 Premier League sides.
It's in! Driven goalwards and into the back of the net by Jordan Ayew. Southampton are crestfallen. No way they could lose.
Emphatically put away by Michael Keane, of all people.
Boom! 2-0.
Ipswich offered very little and still haven't won on their return to the Premier League.
The last moments of this game, Wolves 1, Manchester City 2 in the 5th minute of 5 added on.
Chris Wood with a key moment. Dean Henderson will not want to see again. There's trouble at the Palace. It's their worst start to a season in 31 years.
Okay, the 24-25 Premier League campaign is the 126th top-flight English League season, but it's first ever to see as many as 4 teams fail to win any of their opening 8 games. It's an interesting one. That's an interesting statistic, that. There's a total of 31 games between the sides without winning, as only Southampton and Ipswich have played each other so far. But what does it take to get out of the danger? Someone who can tell us more on this, the man who helped West Brom pull off which was an unbelievable escape in 2005, but was also part of the infamous 11-point Derby team. It's a very, very good morning to Robert Earnshaw. Good morning, Robert. How are you?
Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Oh, we're brilliant, mate.
Good, mate.
Thanks so much for joining us. Never mind the relegation. I'm looking at your wee Wikipedia page here. I tell you what I did not know. 2 goals in 3 appearances for Greenock Morton. Tell me all about that, mate.
Oh, Ali, what an experience! I mean, in your country.
Yes, hey, Robert, and at Greenock. I've been to Greenock.
So, I was there as well for a minute. Honestly, do you know what? I tell you, Ali, it was an experience. I was 17, and we had Frank Burrows at Cardiff, and he says to me, "I've got just the place for you." And I was like, okay. He goes, "You're going up to Greenock, son." So listen, I get up there. I'm in Greenock. I get picked up, and this is like back in the day. And he was all about, okay, I want to toughen him up. He's a young kid. He needs to learn, be on it by himself, get up away from home. So I go up there, and I get taken to a pub. And I was like, okay. I get taken to a pub, and the guy goes, "Here's your keys. You're upstairs." I lived for that month. I was there on loan. I lived upstairs above a pub in a B&B upstairs above a pub. And it was all about teaching me life lessons, be by myself, away from home, and toughen me up. Did it toughen me up? Oh, my goodness.
Robert,
you know what the worst thing? We actually played Rangers. We played Rangers. And all the stars are there, right? Gazza's there, Kanchelskis, Tugai, remember that?
Of course.
It was that team.
Of course.
Van Bronckhorst. So we're playing them, and living above this pub and we're gonna play those guys. But honestly, what an experience. But yeah, most people don't know that I was up in Scotland. I played in Scotland. I played in the snow, full on snow, in Dunfermline.
Brilliant, mate. Listen, I could listen to you all day talking about that because it's obviously had a massive effect on you. But we want to ask you about down at the bottom end of the table, Robert. I mean, I think, and I'd like to hear your views on it.
Yeah.
I think nowadays it's actually getting harder, particularly for the newly promoted teams to come out that championship. And the championship is a division that we absolutely love it, mate. I just love the Saturday, Tuesday, the competitive nature of the championship. But the teams coming out of there, is it fair to say it's getting harder and harder for them to stay up?
To be honest with you, I think some parts are harder, but I would actually say maybe some things are easier, to be honest with you, because I think the styles of teams that I believe are more confident to go into the Premier League and play their style, because I think years ago, I think teams were more scared to play their style and how they see the game and whether it's a possession style. So I think it's easier in that way to jump up and go against the best in that way. But I think the problem is, I think the gap of quality and those top teams is huge. But to be honest with you, I think it's just little things that separate, to be honest with you. I don't think it says it's based on the whole team. You know, it's one team coming from the Championship, one team coming into the Premier League is a giant difference. I think there's a difference of little mistakes here and there. You get punished. And sometimes you got players and teams just used to getting away with it in moments. For example, you're in a moment, you think you can play out from the back, and say somebody receives it in midfield. A lot of the time in the Championship, sometimes you can get away with it.
Yes.
You know, you give the ball away, and all of a sudden, they go and miss. In the Premier League, you're in midfield, you've got a little bit of time, you think you can turn, you lose it, bang, it's 1-0. It's not still 0-0, or some team needs about 4 or 5 of those chances to put it away. So I think it's those things that make a real difference. Listen, I think it's I think all teams can get out of it, to be honest with you, but it's just those things. I think teams sometimes get lost. I think the one that surprised me a lot this year is the Crystal Palace one. I think because they were flying. I mean, I did a couple of their games and I thought they were brilliant at the end of the last season. So good, so sharp. And their drop off has been remarkable.
But Rob, I wanted to ask you, Rob, your West Brom team that stayed up, you had one win before New Year's Day.
Incredible.
So you look at the table now, and yes, there'll be teams that are going to be a bit scared. You look at Everton on 8 points and the gap starting to get bigger and bigger, but it's all to play for still, isn't it? But the team that really I've been watching a lot is Southampton. And on the weekend, I'm thinking to myself, you're 2-0 up. You are 2-0 up at home. You have to get that next goal. You know, and to go and get Fraser sent off and then end up losing the last kick of the game. Ramsdale should save that for me as well. They're the ones that are going to kill you, aren't they, Rob? You can't lose that game on the weekend. You can't.
Yeah, impossible. When you and this is one of the things that I learned, especially, you talk about the Great Escape year with West Brom. We didn't figure out before Christmas that, hold on a minute, it's the little moments like that that actually keep you in the league. Never mind, if you play Man City, that's a bonus if you get any points. If you play Liverpool or Arsenal, and this is, I remember that season, and it was like, I think everybody got mesmerized. You look to the side and you play in Arsenal, it's the Invincibles. And you look over here, it's Jose Mourinho's Chelsea over here. And we go over here and we play Alex Ferguson's Manchester United. Yeah. So I think everybody got kind of taken away by being mesmerized almost about that. When you get points against those, that's a bonus. But then I figured the others are beatable. You just have to tidy up in different moments. Because that's the difference. Never mind going to, we have to win against Chelsea. We have to win against Man. No, forget that. It's for example, now if you're Wolves or Southampton have to beat Leicester, or at least the minimum get a point. But when you're 2-0 up, you cannot apple crumble and go and lose 3-2.
Incredible.
That's unacceptable. So I think the teams in and around you, those are the teams. And if you think of that bottom half, those are the teams that you should be winning up against, and worry about that the most. And because the rest are bonuses.
Rob, just a quick one, mate. I'm nearly out of time. Cardiff, another one of your older clubs, they've certainly turned things around. I mean, the last few results have been excellent. Omer Risa looks as though he's doing a good job. Do you expect him to get the job?
I do. I was cautious earlier, but I think he's going to get the job. I'd be 3 wins out of 5. I think he's done a great job. They just look much, much better. I was actually commentating on the game last night, and I thought they were excellent. They just look a different team. They're pressing. They're playing more possession. They're decisive, scoring goals. He's now jumped up to the top of the list. There's going to be 3 or 4 other names, but I think Cardiff City have been looking and thinking, let's give him a month and see how he does. And they have been flying. 3 wins out of 5 is huge.
Certainly turned the corner. Rob, thanks very much.
Thank
Great
you,
to
Rob.
talk to you this morning. I can reliably inform you. I'll let the good people of Greenock know you're asking for them, mate, when I'm back up.
Absolutely. Close to my heart still.
Smash it, pal. I really enjoyed that. Thanks for your time this morning.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.